Just how many versions of the Odyssey will Boldr have? I'm not sure, but unlike many micro brands, Boldr not only has a vast catalog, but they do keep model lines and keep updating them through the years. And the latest Bronze Odyssey comes with 3D lume. No, you don't need special glasses to view it, but the indices are massive blocks of lume called Lumicast, allowing for a lot of light to be absorbed, so you will get a crazy amount of brightness in the dark. If you're not familiar with Boldr or the Odyssey, you'll want to check this out. So let's get to the review. Now, I have reviewed countless versions of the Odyssey over the years, so many I probably forget a few. Some are very different, like the Freediver 40mm versions or the GMT Globetrotter versions. Other are just a new dial color or materials such as meteorite. This time around, it's pretty much unchanged from the last Bronze Odyssey I reviewed, but now has these crazy lume markers that are called Lumicast, casted blocks of lume compound set onto the dial. They look pretty good on the dial, especially on this pine green dial, but they are enhanced even more by the double-domed sapphire crystal, and overall, just a very striking dial and overall striking watch as well. As many of you know, I'm not the biggest bronze fan, not because I don't like it. It's just I can't wear it for long periods of time. But here's hoping to maybe some titanium or steel versions, or even DLC with this new 3D lume. On the screen, you'll see all the specifications, and the price is $649, though there are pop-ups with discounts on the Boldr website, so as always, be sure to get the best deal that you can. I'm not going to go over everything about this watch. Not going to go over the fitment or how it is on my wrist. It's a 45.5mm watch. I'll show it, of course, but I've reviewed so many of these watches before, even this year. So I'm going to show lots of close-ups of this dial and these Lumicast markers, and of course a good amount of lume shots. But there are a few things I want to point out first. This beast of a watch already has a patina going on it, but the case has a really unique texture. It's like a super fine blasting, and with the patina, it's so smooth to the touch. It really creates a unique contrast, especially the starkness of that sapphire crystal jutting off the dial. The other is the rubber strap. Now, I'm gonna mispronounce this or flub it probably here, but this is a Boldr fluoroelastomer rubber strap. Oh, I got it. Apparently produced by Boldr, and it is a phenomenal rubber strap. No other way to say it. Extremely pliable, great feel against the wrist, and has no tackiness to the touch. Very, very smooth. The one thing about the strap, though, is how it fits to the case. These are quick release pins, and I've pulled one off to show you the strap ends so you can see what I mean. The front part of the strap that attaches to the lugs, it kind of lays on the top of the lug face and not inside it. What happens is, it's like a piece of paper that just won't go flat again once it's been creased. It's not massively noticeable, but when you're doing, and going over every detail I do here and taking all these photographs and video captures, it is something you notice. Other than that, this has a very solid crown and secure bezel, though not always the easiest to grip bezel, and the smoothness of that finishing really doesn't aid in it being easy to turn, as your hands do tend to slip off of a bit. But let's get to talking about this dial and these markers already. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know anything about the manufacturing process of these markers, but I will say I dig the aesthetic. Obviously, the color on these is that of vintage old radium color, or patina lume, or as some refer to it, piss lume. Whatever you want to call it, it really does match up with this pine green dial. Now, of course, there are other colors of this watch. You can see them on the Boldr website. But this is just a great shade of green. A little darker than olive green and not quite emerald green. And this is another green dial with a with a color matched date wheel. I love that brands are starting to pay attention to the really small details like this, but I do feel it puts other brands on notice. Or at least I'm putting other brands on notice. Stop having horrible date wheels and cutouts on watch dials. Here's a beautiful blue dial with a horrible stark white date wheel over at the 430 position. but not exactly the 430 position, angled weird and almost in the center of the dial. Wait, where was I? I'm sorry. Wonky date wheels get me all in a tizzy. But anyway, you will notice this one is placed properly at the 6 o'clock position. Now, you already know the lume is great. You saw the thumbnail. But let's go ahead and show you a lot more of it and some close-ups of it as well. This is really a lume junkie's dream. Absolutely super bright and blinding lume, although it will glow in the room, so maybe it'll blind you in the lume. No, it'll blind you in the room with the lume. Look at that, I can rhyme. But it really will glow pretty much all night, or at least a damn good portion of it. As I said, I want to see these Lumicast markers make their way to the Stainless Odyssey models, and maybe even the 40mm freediver as well. Boldr is a brand, I gotta say, they really do continue to impress. You know, looking back, I thought back in the day when they arrived on the scene that the spelling of the name was funny and they probably wouldn't last too long. Boy, was I wrong. So if you want to see more, click the link to go to the Boldr website and also a written article on watchreport.com. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit all those notifications as well. Watch Report t-shirts and hoodie links are down in the description, made by Teespring and printed to order. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.